welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hi.
And Nick, how was your week?
It was good. Halloween.
Yes.
You know I love the months that end in BER and Burr. So I love Halloween.
Okay.
And now we're in November, and then it's December, and I love these months. And I love the fall and winter.
Fall is my favorite. Fall and winter is my favorite time of year. One, because it cools down, and I don't like the heat.
Yeah. Same.
And I like Halloween as a holiday. I think it's fun.
Yes.
I know that's, some people do and some people don't. It's just whatever you want.
Yeah.
But did you do any, did you go to any Halloween, or are you going to any Halloween parties, or did you dress up for anything or hand out candy?
We had some friends over,
Okay.
which our version of party nowadays, which my teenage self would be like, why are you doing this? But we just hang out and eat food and play Mario Kart.
Yeah, because that's the most
I
fun
feel
thing to do.
We should be living it up more in our 20s, but that's what we are. So it's pretty chill. But we had our friends over, Ashley and Tyler and Aaron and Tom, and love them.
That's awesome.
It's fun to hang out with them.
How
about you? Did you do anything?
I did not. We do have at the bank, we always do a costume, like a theme costume for the bank, for the branch. And each one does, and then they kind of do a little contest across all the bank. And this year we were Minions.
I like that.
I was the only one that took this to heart. So I actually changed outfits in the middle of this. So I came in a yellow shirt as a yellow Minion, and at halfway through the day, I changed into a purple shirt and became one of the crazy Minions. So
I like that.
I went all out with it. Had overalls and everything. By the way, I don't know how people wear overalls on a regular basis, because they are not comfortable at all.
They're not made for big people. I've noticed this because this leads into a whole other thing. There's videos that go around that's is it fashion or is it skinny? And I fully believe that overalls are only for super skinny people, because I put them on and I'm like, these are uncomfortable and horrible.
See,
anyways, that's just my rant. I have ranted about overalls before because I love the way they look on other people.
Yeah, I mean, they can look cute on girls. I think for the most part they look ridiculous on guys. Most of the time when guys are wearing them, they're it's more of a utility thing than anything. And I get that. I get the purpose. But also the other thing is, you say that they're not made for big people. I feel like I see more big people wearing them than anybody else, which is interesting. Because, I didn't find them comfortable. I mean, when you're standing up, it's fine. But when I sit down at a desk for one of my jobs, and they're not, they ride up there. Yeah, no, it wasn't comfortable to sit.
They're impractical for my body shape. I will say that. I'd rather just wear something else.
I'd rather just wear pants.
But anyway,
just give me the pants. I just want some pants.
But no, so we didn't dress up for Halloween. Well, also most of our stuff is in storage anyway.
That's true right now.
But so I could have maybe worn what I wore to Renfest or something. But no, we just wore Chiefs. Well, actually, what I'm wearing right now. And then we put the dogs in Mahomes jerseys. I got dog jerseys for them because I
nice.
Am that dog mom.
Yeah.
So it was we were all just Chiefs. That's all we had.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with
Which,
that.
speaking of, I feel like I'm gonna jinx them, but the Chiefs are undefeated so far, and they're the only undefeated, so that was also exciting. They won again this week.
They are the only undefeated team left in the league. I mean, it only takes one to not be undefeated. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I was looking at stats. It's the Miami Dolphins or something were the only other team that went undefeated and then also won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone else has stayed.
The Dolphins are the only team that's ever done that. The Patriots almost did it in the mid-2000s with Tom Brady. But they lost the Super Bowl. They won every other game, but they lost in the Super Bowl. I think that was one of the ones that they lost to Eli and the Giants. Anyway.
Gotcha.
I
Interesting. But yeah, so that happened this week. I
yeah.
love a Chiefs win.
Chiefs wins are. I mean, I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm not crazy like some people are with it. I'm not saying you are.
Yeah.
My father is
No, I
ridiculous
know
when
I'm
it
not.
comes to sports and will yell at the
Yeah.
television, and I've never understood that because it's a
But my
game.
family
It's
is.
a game. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Well, and they can't hear you.
yeah. Well, that
Now, will
too.
I occasionally be like, what the heck is happening? Like say out loud, like, what am I watching? If there's like a bad call or something. But I have a family of screamers that they will scream at the TV and critique them. And I'm like, you
Yeah.
realize they can't hear you.
Yeah.
But it's just
I
a thing. I feel like that's a universal
well,
sports fan experience.
you
You
know
always have
what?
those people.
Fan is short for fanatic, so there you go. Um.
Yeah.
Anyway, Halloween's over.
Hmm.
We're now into November, which means Thanksgiving is upon us. I
Yeah.
don't know. We're recording this on Friday, so it's the 1st of November.
Hmm.
Did overnight, um, I guess Mariah Carey released a music video saying that
I saw
it's
that.
now Christmas
Yeah.
season,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
which
And
is
there are
kind of
so many
funny.
people that are like, what about Thanksgiving? But
You
yeah.
know, I don't have a Christmas tree right now. I haven't
Hmm.
bought one after the one that I had kind of crapped out a couple years ago. But I am one fully to the weekend after Halloween is when I set up the Christmas tree. And
Really?
I will say I don't see it as skipping Thanksgiving. I see Thanksgiving
Hmm.
and I see it all as part of the holiday season. Like it's all part
Gotcha.
of one
Yeah.
season. Just because it takes me 5 hours to set up my Christmas tree and I want to enjoy it more than a month
Enjoy it for longer.
doesn't mean that I don't
Yeah.
like Thanksgiving. Like yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
If
that's
I remember right, my dad didn't let us set up the tree and the nativity scene and everything until the day after Thanksgiving.
that would make
And
sense.
then because I think he was very particular about that. I remember him being very particular about it being the day after something, and I assume it was Thanksgiving
Okay.
because it's been so long since we've set up a tree. Because Christmas is not my favorite holiday anymore by any means, but
Yeah.
I feel like the day after Thanksgiving. So that's when I'm used to like Christmas season starting is December 1st,
Mhm.
basically.
I worked at Pier 1 Imports
Yeah.
for a long time, almost 10 years. And I got used to Christmas season starting in August.
Yeah. Way
So,
early. Oh, I'm
yeah.
sure.
So, and Christmas, well, no, Christmas wasn't really, I guess, I don't know. I don't like glitter, which Pier 1 was a bad place to work for not liking glitter because there was a lot of it. We got rid of
Yeah.
it basically like in January. We got rid of it because all the Christmas stuff had glitter. So in January, we got rid of
Mhm.
it. And then as soon as we hit March, it all came back because Easter started. And then
Yeah.
from March, you had Easter, then you had Memorial Day, then you had the 4th of July, then you had Halloween, then you had Christmas, and it was just glitter nonstop. Glitter, 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 glitter. And
Yeah.
I hate glitter. Oh, I hate glitter so much. I
Have
don't.
you, this could
Ugh.
be, we're going to go off on such a tangent, and I know we still have our actual episode to do, so this should be probably a separate thing. But the glitter conspiracy and like how there's like one glitter factory. Anyway, we'll talk about that another day. That's just me
Oh, I
bookending
think I've
that
heard
you
of
brought up
this.
glitter.
I think I've heard about this.
Yeah,
But it's
it's
also there's
weird.
also conspiracies about like helium and things, isn't there? Like just
Yeah,
these
there's a
things
lot
that
of
like
conspiracies.
there's so many different conspiracies out there. But
Yeah.
I mean, the largest fun fact, we'll get to fun facts actually later, but this one doesn't have anything to do with this. The I believe it still is the largest single user of helium in the world is Macy's.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
it's only because of the parade. That's it.
I didn't even think of that. I was like, are they like doing a lot of advertising with
Nope.
balloons or
Nope.
something?
It is
Duh,
it
the
is
parade.
the parade. It is all those those
Interesting.
massive
Mhm.
balloons. That is pretty much it. And yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway,
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that used to be true. I don't know that it still is. But anyway,
Hmm. Yeah.
this week transition. This
Wait,
week.
did you have any shout outs? I didn't have
Oh,
any shout outs this week.
no, I don't think. Hold on, hold
Okay,
on.
okay, okay,
Let me
okay,
double check because I,
okay.
um,
I didn't want to forget because we went off on such a tangent
yeah,
talking about our week.
yeah, we do
Per
that
the
sometimes.
usual.
Um, oh,
Par for the
somebody did
course.
comment actually on something about the aliens. We had a
Okay.
short called "Blowing Up Alien Brains," which I think posted
Uh-huh.
last Sunday, and Dylan Heron asked, "Is the alien hot?" Laughing emoji, crying laughing emoji.
Oh, was this when we asked what you would do with the alien for a day?
Yeah, because you said you would show them the Jersey Shore and a bunch of dumb things, which would cause their brains to explode.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
and
right.
their
Yeah.
comment was, "Is the alien hot?" Um, Dylan, I don't know.
I don't
Um,
want to answer that
I don't know that I
question.
want to answer that question. I guess it depends on you. It's all about you. We don't,
Yes.
you do you. I don't know.
Hey, we're like Planet Fitness. It's a judgment-free zone, but we're not going to talk about it because I don't want to talk about it.
Oh man. Oh, I
Anyways.
probably should have hit the sounder for that, shouldn't have I? We're already past it now, so it
Yeah.
yeah, it failed. I failed at my
Okay.
job.
That's okay.
We'll
We
move
always
on to the
do.
next thing.
And on that note, our topic I was actually really excited about this. And I really, really wanted to talk about this. The Romanov family.
Yeah, you've
Because I
talked about
have
this for
always
a
been
little while.
fascinated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So finally we got to sneak it into our schedule here to talk about, and then we'll do a movie episode too. So
Mhm.
stay tuned for the movie episode where we watched the cartoon or the animated movie Anastasia.
Mhm.
But for our episode, we're talking about the actual
Family.
real life
Yeah.
Romanov family. Yeah. Yeah. So had you hadn't heard of the Romanovs really, had you?
No. Mm-mm.
Which is like wild to me. Maybe because I grew up watching Anastasia and I'm me and I'm like, is this historically accurate? And then go into my rabbit holes. But I had always, heard of them, knew that they, passed away tragically, but I never really knew where they fit in like the context of Russian history. Because I don't know about you, like I don't know much about Russian history. We've talked about the Chernobyl,
I
and that's
mean,
literally it. Like
I
timelines, I'm so bad with
I
for
know
them.
about I know some about Russian history. I didn't realize this was the family that was. I knew there was a czar that was overthrown by the Bolsheviks. I didn't know
Yeah.
that this was
Okay. Yeah.
this was that family. Um.
Yeah.
Uh. Yeah. I didn't know that this was
Yeah.
that family. But
Yeah.
I know
It's
about the
it's
Bolsheviks. I
very
know about
interesting.
the
Okay. Okay.
Russian Revolution and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah. And I had like heard of that because I took AP Euro and we briefly go through some Russian history,
hmm
but really I had never known the timelines and where everything fell in the history of
hmm
everything. But so the Romanov family specifically, so their dynasty ruled Russia from 1613 to 1917. So that's like 200 years, not the
so
longest, or 300 years, right?
16 to
16,
19, 16,
300
13.
years.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
pretty close to 300 years, almost
Years.
300 years.
So definitely not like the biggest dynasty by any means, or longest, I mean. But 300
No,
years
but
is longer than
that's a
the
good chunk of
United
that's a
States,
good chunk of
right?
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So they originally descend from Roman Yurov, whose daughter was the first wife of Ivan the Terrible, Ivan the Fourth the Terrible,
hmm
which also is like a good name. I love like learning the different nicknames of rulers. You have like Bonnie Prince Charlie, Ivan the Terrible, Catherine the Great. Like I love how they get like nicknames. Then I was
Yeah.
thinking if we had nicknames, like I I don't know what yours would be. The only thing I could think of was like Kevin the Logical.
Okay.
And then I was like, for me, I would love to have something like Nicole the Illustrious, but I'm like, in reality, probably not. It'd probably be like Nicole the Emotional. most
That one
likely.
that one would probably be accurate. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
But what would yours be? The only thing I could think of was like Kevin the Logical.
I mean, that's yeah, that's pretty accurate.
It's
I don't.
fitting.
Yeah, it's fitting.
Because
I don't know. I've never really thought about
there's
it.
some cool ones.
There's some interesting ones. Um,
Yeah. And then there's some ones that I'm like, I would be sad if I were you. There's one ruler that was like something something the bald, and I was like, that's horrible. And what a horrible like legacy to have that you're just like Greg the Bald.
yeah.
I don't remember his actual name, but
Um, well, my dad hates his name, and his name is Ivan. So, which is
that's
kind of
funny.
it's. I think it's comical. He doesn't. I don't know if we've ever talked to him about Ivan the Terrible, but it's
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I would be. Um, I'd probably be logical as one, kind. I think I'm pretty kind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree.
Sometimes that's a farce, and
Yeah.
more of a face. But I'm a
Yeah.
pretty nice person, I think. But anyway,
I agree.
I don't
Yeah.
know. You definitely fall under that. I think kind,
The emotional. Oh,
emotional
the
for
kind.
the
I
kind.
thought you were just calling me emotional
I mean,
again.
yes, yes,
I mean, it's true.
but
Yeah. I mean, everyone did always call me Nice Nikki growing up. Now, some
yeah,
people meant it in like a not nice way because I was kind of a pushover.
yeah,
And so they would be like, Nice Nikki. But then also, I am a nice person. So,
yeah,
like, grow off. I am nice. Thank you.
yeah.
Ugh,
I mean,
goodness. That's me being emotional.
yeah, I can't think of anything else that I would say because I don't. I mean, I'm not really that great. I wouldn't say. I don't even
I
know how
like
you get.
it. Kevin the Kind.
I don't know
I
how
like
you
that
get
one.
that. How do you get great? Like terrible's pretty easy. Like okay, yeah,
I
this
think
person's a tyrant,
maybe the
but
great comes like towards the end of your reign or even maybe after you passed away. Like Catherine the Great. I didn't look up. Like I wonder if people called her that before she passed away or after because of her legacy. That'd be interesting to know. I have no idea. If anyone
yeah.
knows, comment because clearly I'm really good at this. Anyways, um, so that's the start of the dynasty,
Hmm.
basically. And then so before they came to power, there was this period called the Time of Troubles, and it was a bunch of chaos. Like there were foreign invasions, internal, not invasions, like internal battles,
Yeah, like a
and
civil
then
war,
there were,
basically. Yeah.
yeah, and so then they took over, and they were pretty powerful for a really long time. You've got Peter the Great, Catherine the Great, Alexander the First, Alexander the Second. Like there were some names that a lot of people
Hmm.
know for being really powerful
Yeah.
leaders. Um, but then eventually their dynasty started to fall. A multitude of reasons. The last czar, Nicholas the Second, was seen as just overall pretty weak and very like indecisive. There were a lot of uprisings and Russia's involvement in World War One, and a lot of things at the tail end too that made it fall. But he
Well,
was overall just seen as kind of a weak leader.
yeah, and also, I mean, Russia was. I don't remember if this is one of the famines that they went through. Russia's been through several
Yes.
famines.
Yeah.
And I mean, millions of people have died from hunger. And
Hmm.
the, I
Yep.
mean,
This was one of them.
even to this day, there's a big poverty gap, between
Hmm.
the haves and the have-nots. That's true all around the world, but Russia has always
Yeah.
been one of those, and that was another one. Is seeing um,
Yeah.
how much that family had being royalty and just having everything, and
Hmm.
then so many other
Yeah.
people
It's
just
like
had
the
nothing.
French Revolution with
Hmm.
Marie Antoinette. But yeah, no, you're exactly right. Prices rose for food 200% is this stat between 1914 and 1916. And then 1916 to 17 was their downfall.
Yeah.
Um, so definitely played a part too. And then there were some failed government reforms. They tried to go like partially democratic with the Dumas and that failed. there was just they fell out of favor with the public a lot. And then you got Rasputin. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Rasputin, whatever.
Rasputin. Yeah, I believe that's
Um,
correct. Yeah.
Rasputin.
Hmm.
But so he was the healer for Alexei, which was their youngest son. Alexei had hemophilia, like
Hmm.
the where your blood doesn't clot. I think that's it. I'm not a doctor. Uh,
Yeah, I
as
don't.
if we needed that clarification. But he
Not actual
was
medical advice, guys. Yeah, not actual medical advice.
yeah. But Rasputin was a very, very controversial character, still is in the span of history. Um, you know that Just Dance dance, the Rasputin, the rah rah Rasputin, that one.
Um,
Anyways, good talk.
no, not really. You're correct. It's the ability to not have your blood clot normally. But anyway,
Hemophilia.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, I don't
So
have a clue
he
as to
was the
what dance you're
healer.
talking about.
Okay, well, I just did that,
Yeah.
so. But part of the lyrics of that song, it came out in like the 70s or 80s, I think, were about how he was like the lover of the Russian queen and Russia's greatest love machine because he was known to take like multiple partners and just super like immoral by their standards.
Yeah.
And so to have someone like that so close to the family, that just amplified the public's, negativity towards
Hmm.
them.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, yeah. So those were the biggest things that I found that, was their like rise and fall, mostly
Okay.
fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but then of course you have the Bolshevik Party.
Yeah. The
So that was
Bolsheviks.
1912 that they were established and then seized power in 1917. And they're what eventually became the Russian Communist Party and the
Yeah.
Communist Party of the Soviet Union. So,
Yep.
yeah, just lots of history that led up to their tragic fate.
Yeah,
So,
and it's interesting because, like we've talked. I mean, we've only been talking about this for 5 or 10 minutes, but
mhm,
they had very little favor with the public, and
yeah.
yet when they were assassinated by the Bolsheviks and
Hmm.
Vladimir Lenin, um, that kind of like spun around because people
Yeah.
didn't really like that. Obviously, I mean, you're
Yeah.
assassinating. I think it would have been one thing, and this even happened. Vladimir Lenin, the uh, the Bolsheviks only at the beginning released that Alexander was
Hmm.
killed,
Yeah.
and then it came out later that actually the whole family was killed, which is four
Yeah.
girls and their son and the wife, which is
Hmm.
like, okay, you just killed a bunch of innocent little kids. Like,
Yeah.
the youngest one was 13, the oldest one was 22. Like you just killed
Hmm.
a bunch of innocent kids basically.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. Pretty much.
and it's just you killed one of them who was bound to a wheelchair because he had hemophilia so bad, and the
Yeah.
girls were so in such bad health they had shaved off all their hair and were said to look
Hmm.
like they were in their 40s even though they were in their late teens and early 20s. Like, this is not
Yeah.
a and you know Lenin.
It's definitely not a good move as a political party, like
No.
taking control to just murder an entire family.
Yeah.
Not saying they're the only people to have ever done that in the history of the world, but it definitely didn't gain them any favor in Russia,
No, it
for
didn't.
sure.
And what's interesting is that um to this day Vladimir Lenin is like, I mean, he's like a hero in that country, which is kind of it's a weird because, like I said,
Yeah.
I mean, you can still his and this is weird too. His body is still on display. Like,
Yeah, which is weird
you
to
can
me.
like he died a long time ago, and his body
Hmm.
you can go see it. It's in like a glass coffin, preserved
Hmm.
in a like a tomb type thing. There's a building built around it. I
Yeah.
don't exactly know how it works, but I mean, that's
Mhm.
just kind of odd. Like,
Yeah. And I mean, all political parties have their own issues, but and so I could see where some people are like, well, he was the revolutionary for this country because
Yeah,
there were so many
and
poor people.
yeah,
And I completely understand, but also he's very much a murderer. But anyways, so yeah, the actual assassination was just horribly gruesome.
mm-hmm,
I mean, they were shot and bayoneted,
mm-hmm.
which is just, and then their bodies were buried and mutilated in the
Oh, they were
forest,
just
and
thrown in the
they
woods.
didn't
Yeah,
even find them. Yeah, for an extremely long time. It was
the 70s.
in,
This is when they found the
yeah,
first.
1979.
They found
Mm-hmm.
4 of them in the 70s, and then they didn't
Mm-hmm.
find. And this is what the movies kind of go into too. There was a belief that the two of them could still be alive, which is where the
Yes,
Anastasia, the movies and stuff, kind of play off of that.
exactly.
There were several
Yeah,
movies that did play off of that, and we'll talk about
yeah,
that in the movie episode too. But they're
yeah. It's like 2007
that
is
they
when they
found the
found
other
the second
two.
grave.
Yeah, they found the other two that
Yeah.
were not too far away, but still
And that
close-ish.
was Alexi and then either Anastasia or Maria. So,
Yeah,
yeah. And I thought this was interesting. One of the ways they helped confirm the DNA was
Prince Philip.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
he was the
what was his relation?
closest living relative to the family. Yeah, which
Yes,
I didn't
Queen
realize.
Elizabeth II's husband. So he was the grandnephew
Yeah,
of Alexandra and the great great grandson of Nicholas the First.
yeah.
So yeah,
I didn't
that was really
realize there
fascinating.
was that many ties because, like, the British royals and stuff had talked about trying to get the Romanovs out of Russia before they
Yeah.
were assassinated, and I think Nicholas's. Is it Alexander or Nicholas? I don't remember which one. But the Tsar, I think his mom made it
Mhm.
out and died later.
Nicholas. Yeah.
But there was
I thought this was
several like world leaders who tried to help them, and I didn't realize they
mhm.
had so many ties to the British royal family and other royal families. So I mean, it makes sense
Yes,
that
yeah.
all that one big family would rule everything. I mean, how?
I know. It's like anything with European royal history. I'm like, why were there so many battles? You're basically all family.
You're all
Like, get
family.
over it.
Yeah.
It's like the worst Thanksgiving dinner ever known. You know, like when Italian families get together and have Thanksgiving, there's a lot of yelling. That's like how I view it. I'm like, can you just all stop for 5 seconds?
Yeah.
But
I think
anyways,
it's just
no
all.
offense to
Yeah. It's just
my Italian family members.
people
But
just. I
yeah,
don't. Thanksgiving can just be a. I never had it, but I've heard stories about Thanksgivings and people like just the crap that goes
they
down
can
at
get loud.
Thanksgiving, which is just crazy. Like
Yeah,
some of the things that I've heard in the past is just
yeah.
like okay,
But that's like all the royal families. They're so
they're so
interconnected. So
intertwined.
there
Yeah.
are a lot of Romanov descendants,
Hmm.
but no direct ties to the leading Romanov
Yeah.
rulers. But uh, there was a survivor from the family, technically. Alexi's spaniel, Joy, was rescued by a British officer, I think, and then ended up living out his days in England, in Windsor.
The dog.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought that was so cute. Never
That's
mind the
nice.
whole family just
Yeah.
getting murdered, but the dog
Besides the whole
lived.
family getting murdered thing, it's nice that the dog made it. That's great.
Yeah.
Um.
So we can end on a kind of positive note.
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy that how everything went down because there were so many conspiracy theories, which led to all the gossip, the movies, the
Mm-hmm.
everything, because of how the political party handled everything afterwards.
Yeah.
They released like so many different theories and they just fueled the rumors. And I don't know if that was intentional or they just couldn't decide as a party how to like handle the press or but
All of the
yeah,
yes, yes. All of the
or
above.
yeah, all of
Yeah.
the above.
All of the above.
um
Um. I mean, I don't.
and then there were
Yeah.
so many imposters, and then a lot of people say nowadays like the imposters, the rumors, the everything was just to try to distract from everything that Soviet Russia was doing. And we saw this in Chernobyl too.
Yeah.
They're always trying to distract from the main
Mm-hmm.
issues by doing other
But the
things.
imposters a lot of times too, it seemed like we're just trying to live as, like, just trying to take advantage of the
Yeah.
situation and live as royalty, basically. Because I saw there was more than 20 people that came out and claimed to be the lost children who were supposedly,
Hmm.
um, supposedly
Yeah.
survived.
Lived.
Um,
Yeah. And now, which, I mean, nowadays we know
yeah,
that they were indeed all killed. But back then they didn't. I mean, it was just 2007
yeah, which
that
isn't.
the
I
second
mean,
grave was discovered, which is crazy.
yeah, that's not that long ago.
So
So,
I get why there was so many rumors in a sense too.
because that's, I
But
mean, that's almost 100 years that you went without knowing
yeah.
if two of them. Because I mean, when you find a grave in the 70s and you confirm that four of them are dead, but there's two that aren't there, they were all killed together.
Hmm.
Like, supposedly they were all
Hmm.
assassinated at the same time. So why aren't the other two there? That's just gonna fuel that. Like, and then
Yeah.
you had another almost 40 years before you found the other bodies and then confirmed that
Hmm.
they actually died as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
tragic thing, even
It
though it was
is.
like
It is.
it was like I said, it was kind of a rough situation for people at the time in that area, but
Hmm.
it's still a tragedy that they were all assassinated or killed like that. So
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
It is. It is a tragedy. And like anything in history, there's a lot of tragic things, but they're also very interesting in the course of history and learning about
yeah,
them. So I liked reading and doing my notes for this episode a lot just because everything is really fascinating. But
yeah.
um so I have a game so we can end on like a positive note
Okay,
ish, positive-ish note. But do you have
positive-ish note.
anything else
I don't.
about the Romanovs?
No, I don't think so. Because there wasn't. I mean,
Okay.
like I said, I didn't really know that much
Mhm.
about them to start with. So, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Okay. So I was trying to think of something positive-ish. And it ended up just being kind of stupid. But okay. So we're gonna rank, or when I say we, I mean you.
Okay. Okay.
We're gonna rank the worst outrageous ways to die. And I came up with these, and I'm really proud of myself. I think they're hilarious.
Okay.
You might not,
Do you have a ranking
but
as well? Like, are we gonna get your ranking on this afterwards?
I didn't. I guess we could.
I mean, I think
I
you
didn't even
should.
think about
I
it.
think you should probably rank them as well. I mean,
Okay,
I
okay.
mean, you can put me on the spot
So,
all you want. I don't care. But I think you should probably rank them as well.
okay, okay. So, one will be the best, five will be the worst. There's just five.
So five is the worst way to die.
Yeah, like
One
right
is the
top to
best way.
bottom.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got death by Jaws shark.
Okay.
Um, like in one of the ways that they die in the movie Jaws,
Okay.
because I also just watched Jaws for the first time recently, and that's what made me think of it.
Wait, you'd never
Anyways,
seen Jaws before?
no, Kev, I've never
What?
seen anything before.
Oh. Well, you've seen some movies. Like, I figured Jaws would have been on that list somewhere. Like,
I've seen some animated movies and some musicals,
it's such a
basically.
good movie. Anyway,
I really didn't think. Anyways, well, I'll get us into a tangent if I start talking about Jaws. I didn't really think it was that good, but anyways, okay, so that's the first one.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. I
So,
apologize. I apologize for the podcast in general. That we apparently don't think that Jaws is. Sorry. I do think that Jaws is a great movie.
I thought it was fine. I get why it's so, important to so many people, and the music is really good. The directing is fine. I just was like, it felt like one really long, drawn out scene for the whole entire movie, and I was like, it's kind of boring.
Okay. Okay.
Anyways,
Okay.
anyways, okay. So Death by Shark,
Okay. Death by Shark.
um, Death by Blimp, like the Hindenburg,
Okay.
stuck in a post office drop off bin where the postman never comes and you can't get out.
That's a weird one. Okay.
Accidentally, and then number four, accidentally put in the chicken nugget machine in a McDonald's factory.
Okay.
And then the last one, getting impaled by a beach umbrella during a tsunami.
Oh, that's actually a thing, and that's kind of terrifying. Like, I
I
mean,
know that's why I put it because I've seen it on a movie before and I thought it
yeah.
was terrifying.
Um,
Yeah.
that can actually happen. The other ones I'm not so sure about.
I mean, death by shark can happen
Well,
and the
shark can
Hindenburg
happen.
definitely
I mean, the
happened.
Hindenburg happened. I don't know how many people have fallen into the chicken nugget machine at a McDonald's factory, but um, if I had rank best and worst, um, I'm gonna say, whew, best is gonna probably be the Hindenburg.
Okay.
Okay, and the reason I'm gonna say that is because I can jump and end it faster. Um, and I'm sorry, that's a very
Like
bad
you
way to
can
say
jump
that.
out of a blimp like that,
Have you not seen the video?
right?
Have
They
you not
didn't.
seen the video of the Hindenburg? Yeah, there's people falling for sure.
Oh, did people jump?
Yeah. Um,
Oh, I thought it was like all enclosed and there was only like one door on and off.
no, it's got windows.
Oh,
You're not up that because
okay. So you would jump.
they didn't
Okay.
fly that high. You didn't have to have a pressure. You don't have to have it pressurized. They don't fly that high.
That's true. I guess I was thinking more like airplanes.
Yeah, they don't fly that high. You don't really need that. Um,
Okay.
because
Okay, so that's
they have
your
to have the
best.
air. They have to have the atmosphere and the air to be able to get lift because that's the whole thing. It floats.
Yeah,
It doesn't
that's
it
true.
doesn't fly through the air. Anyway,
Okay.
so Hindenburg would probably be best case scenario.
Okay.
Um, I think shark would be worst.
That would be your
I think
worst.
that'd be the worst.
Okay.
So we got shark,
So that's your five.
Hindenburg, impaled by an umbrella,
And then the chicken nugget
chicken
machine.
nugget machine. What was the other one?
And then getting stuck in an abandoned post office drop off bin.
That'd be number 4, I think.
Okay.
That'd be number 4 because it would be just like knowing you're gonna die, or always waiting
Yeah.
to see, and then just basically starving to death. Um,
Hmm.
so that'd be probably number 4. I think shark would be number 5. That would be number 4. Um, chicken nugget machine would probably be number 3, and then I guess I'd
Hmm.
go umbrella number 2, and Hindenburg
Okay.
Hindenburg the best. Because I'm gonna
I
hope
think
that
I would.
I'm gonna hope the Hindenburg is either the explosion's gonna kill me instantly, or that I can
Yeah, or you can
that I can
jump.
get out of it, like
I
something like that.
agree.
But
I
anyway,
think I would do the exact same except switch the last two. So I think that I would put the post office
as worst,
last.
okay,
And then the chicken nugget machine fourth. And then wait, was that I already forgot your order now, but I would do so post office is the worst, chicken nugget machine is the fourth worst. Or second to left. Anyways, you get what I
yeah,
mean. Um no. Yeah, no, not yes. Okay. That is how I would do it. Okay, so I can't focus long enough to count to five. Okay.
okay. So we got 5 worst. Worst is post office
I'm
box.
so
Second to
tired.
worst is
Chicken nugget
chicken nugget
machine.
machine.
Third,
Third, middle,
Death by Shark.
death by shark.
And
Then
then Beach Umbrella.
beach, and then Hindenburg. Okay.
Yeah, and Hindenburg's first. I think it was the same as yours, except flip the last two. I think.
No, you flipped the last 3, but that's fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's okay. It's not a big deal. Um, okay. Yeah, that's not what I was planning. We've talked. That's a weird. What do you think would be the worst way to die? Like just in general.
I don't know.
Not like.
I mean, so not necessarily like I just have this fear of being stuck in a post office. I don't know why, but
That's a
but
random
anywhere
fear.
where you're like stuck and know you're gonna die and can't get out, and it's like several days, that would be my worst
Okay.
fear, I think. Because I don't care if it goes fast, I don't care what it is.
That's a fear, but I'm talking just ways to die. Because I think the worst ways to die would be drowning or burning alive. Because I think those would be the most painful.
I think, yeah.
Man, this got dark.
I feel like burning alive. Yeah, I was trying to keep it like funny, Kev.
Anyway,
Like we're gonna
you
anyways,
mentioned
okay.
another question that we haven't gotten to. We talked about it before we ever did this episode, or when we talked about this episode.
Hmm.
Is what if you could choose to be one of the royals, like a
Uh-huh.
royal? Who would you choose, or what would you choose? I have a feeling I know what the answer to this is going to be, because I know
Well,
you.
I wouldn't choose Mary Queen of Scots. She's like my favorite ruler
Yeah.
to like
Okay. Well,
learn about,
I'm
but
glad that you don't
I
want
wouldn't
to.
want to be her.
Good. I'm glad that you don't want to be her. But
Yeah, she got beheaded.
well, yeah.
I
That's
don't
why
want
I
to get
was. That's what
beheaded.
I. That's what I was concerned about. Okay. So who would
No.
you want to be then?
Well, probably, I mean, Queen Elizabeth lived a massively long time and then died of natural causes. Is that like she had like the best life? Well, she had a lot of trauma and a lot of things she had to make decisions on and bad decisions and whatever. But in the scheme of a lifetime, all we want is to live well and then die peacefully. And that's what she did. So like
Yeah.
I feel like any ruler that had that, wealthy lifestyle, she had wealth, family, and then died a peaceful life,
Mm-hmm.
minus everything shady that happened underneath, the royal crowns. But
Yeah.
in general, that's all you want from a life. So
I
I think that's who I would choose.
That makes sense. I think I'd choose I was thinking more recent, like William, because
Mm,
it's like you've got all the modern things of today. You
yeah.
don't really have there is no real power
Hmm.
as what you're gonna be king,
So
but
you
you're
get the
not really
status without the
you get
power.
the status, but you don't really have the authority or the weight of the authority on you. Um,
Yeah.
you're basically, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be a royal because everybody, it doesn't matter what situation you're in, everybody has troubles. I'm not saying
Hmm.
their job is easy. I'm not saying anything like that. They are going to have troubles. They're just different from what
Hmm.
mine are. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, I yeah, I think that would be the best because you still have like the modern what's going on
Hmm.
today, but
Yeah.
you don't you've got the fancy like lifestyle, and you've got a family and all that kind of stuff. But I just thought that was
Yeah, that's true. I like that.
an
I like that
interesting.
answer.
Yeah.
There's so many that I feel like I don't know what their royal lives were actually like.
Oh,
Also, because with history, it's only like, the modern day press coverage that we get to see
yeah.
further into their actual
Yeah.
lives. So there could be other ones that
Well, you
actually had really good lives, but we
yeah,
just don't know because we don't really know the
you
history.
don't know anything about the majority of them. And even the ones that we do
Yeah.
know about, like, Mary Queen of Scots or something like that, we know a
Hmm.
few things, and mainly that the fact that she was killed. Like,
Yeah.
it's
And
not,
because every other account is very contradictory
yeah, so you don't
because
really
you've got
know.
eyewitness statements from the 1500s and you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so it's
No,
kind of,
Mary Queen of Scots would be like my favorite to research, to learn about, that I admired, that if you could go back and tell her some advice, like don't listen to the men in your life, you'll get beheaded. But as far as like who I would actually want to be, definitely not her.
okay. I think it's time for facts. Oh, okay. Anyway, Nick, what is your fun fact for this week?
Okay, so it has to do with a royal, not the
Okay.
Romanovs. Um, but remember before we started recording, I told you I always wear black clothes and this was gonna have to do with black clothes.
Okay. Yeah.
So, because we were matchy-matchy
Yeah.
twinning today. Um, so after the death of her husband, Queen Victoria of England wore black every day for 40 years until her death.
Dang.
And I was like, I love that for her. I would do that. If Casey died, I would wear black every, well, I already wear black every day, so that wouldn't be hard. But I love mourning clothes. I'll have to post a picture of her and some of her like famous dresses because I love them and I've always loved them.
Hmm.
And she was like short, like 5 foot or something, like really, really tiny.
Okay.
So also some of her dresses are like really just funny to look at. But I love that for her. I love the mourning clothes and like just wearing a fancy black dress every day of your life.
Yeah.
I just love that.
That was a different time because I feel like that was somewhat common. When you were mourning a family member or something, you always wore that. And especially as a widow, a lot of times you would stay in that for the rest of your life.
Because that was the late 1800s to early 1900s.
Yeah. So my fun fact, we kind of touched on these a little bit, but my fun fact is just interestingly enough about the Romanovs. Like, I didn't realize, because we watched Anastasia, which if you want to hear more about that, you watch Wednesday. We'll have the movie episode on it. But I was amazed at how close that is to the actual story. How they kind of took what actually happened and kind of just twisted it around a little bit to make it interesting, which I thought was really good. But
a little more tolerable.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. I also thought it was interesting, but anyway, fact. Nicholas II didn't believe. So when he was coming back from World War I, from serving in World War I, he was forced to abdicate the throne, basically. He was forced to give up the throne. And he didn't believe that his son, a 12-year-old, should have the throne, especially with a medical condition that made him have troubles with hemophilia.
Yeah.
So he gave the throne to his brother, who rejected it. And basically just like with that, just ended it. Just ended the whole monarchy in general. Like, it was just done. Didn't even have to fight for it. It just ended there. Which is just kind of like crazy that somebody.
It is.
That I mean, I guess. I mean, if somebody said, "Here, you want to be," they don't want us to do this anymore. So here you go, take it. Like, it's like, I mean, that's like,
here you go. Your country is rioting against you. Would you like to be czar?
Yeah, that's kind of like the same idea as like, I mean, I can think of it as like trying to hand a live grenade to somebody and be like, "Here, I don't want it anymore." Like, it's
hot potato.
Not gonna go. It's not gonna go. Not gonna go well. But anyway, I think that is it for this week. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. We got movie episode that goes along with this coming out on Wednesday, so watch that as well. And other than that, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.